Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. Was good, was good, was good. So we seem to have a lot going on at the moment. A lot. Probably more than what you think. But I should probably talk about today's question. That's probably more interesting to you guys. So let me see if I can do that. Give me one moment. Let me bring up my... There's the chat. Oh, now I can see you guys. Isn't that awesome? All right, all right, all right. Let me just get this all situated right here. So, tonight's question. Is Jack Dorsey Satoshi Nakamoto? I know for some people that's going to be a bugged out question. Like I know for sure. I read it. I read an article. And I started asking myself questions. And I don't get into conspiracy theories. But it was an interesting article. So we'll leave it at that and we'll discuss it a little bit later. Because I want to know what you guys are thinking. So the answer is, or the answers are, do you think Jack Dorsey is Satoshi Nakamoto? Yes, no, other. And what's going on, Rick Ritchie? Don't cause any trouble today. Just saying. How is it you're the only person on? That's crazy. It's 8 o'clock. I mean, I don't have Instagram going, because I don't think they miss me. So we're going to let that one rock. It's kind of how I think about it. In terms of news, this morning's news was interesting. This evening's news really caught my attention. Why is that, Eddie? How did it catch your attention, sir? Libra co-founder admits market manipulation. Hayden Davis, co-founder of Libra, one of the guys that helped create it, admits using project funds to snipe its own meme coin on launch day to boost market cap and deter early traders amid rug pull and insider trading accusations. What's going on, Hutanik? I can't even. Now, he's known to be a sniper. He's even gone on and said he snipes. Wow. If that revelation is true, what's that say about the Melania coin? Like, what went on with that? What went on with Trump? And now, Hutanik, you're going to like this. Rick Richard, you probably might like it too. And now, I didn't think this would be the one to actually cause problems for, like, I wasn't expecting something like this to cause a problem for Solana. I really wasn't. Not even close. Not even close. But Solana dropped. I had seen Solana today drop all the way down to 166 bucks. It's down. It's at 168 right now. It's taking a beating. A beating. Then on top of that, you have FTX saying that they're going to pay back people, all that good stuff. So you have layer upon layer upon layer. And I'm sitting here and I'm just saying to myself, this is the one that did it. You made your bones with meme coins. Actually, you made your bones with FTX. Whatever went on there. And then meme coins. How did all of that get started? It got started with Solana not being transparent. At least that's the way I look at it. I don't know about you, but that's the way I look at it. And there are going to be reverberations for a while, methinks. Because I'm not the brightest bulb in the bunch. You know what I mean? it's been falling bad daily without making news somehow. Oh, it's this. It's this. It's Libra. Milei went out there and started running his mouth again and opened up a whole new can of worms. Get your popcorn, make it the good stuff, either the caramel or the toffee, but get your popcorn, get comfy. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going on. Yeah, I think Seoul is having outages right now because I think basically they're having a run on the bank. I think a lot of people that were involved with Solana, I think a lot of people that were involved with Libra are freaking the hell out right now. And yeah, there are going to be reverberations. And I don't mean just in crypto. I mean reverberations in a lot of places. You have the national leader of, what's it again? Argentina. Caught up in this. Caught up in this. He's the problem. Rewind that back. Who else did this team help create this stuff? Oh, it was, at the very least, it was Melania. And some people are saying it's Melania and the Trump coin. Imagine if that's true. Oh. Now, I'm not talking about conspiracy theory, but over here, we're talking about, there's a $160 million loan, right? Let me see. Loan. Just looking at my notes. Bear with me. Don't get upset. MoonPay had a $160 million loan for the Trump token launch. Because they knew somebody was going to be all in it. Give me the loot. I hope you're joking. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We are talking about Libra. So yeah, MoonPay got a $160 million loan, and the two companies that helped facilitate that loan, as far as news is concerned, Ripple and Galaxy Digital. I don't know if they gave the loan or if they helped them get the loan. Nothing wrong with Galaxy Digital. Nothing wrong with Ripple. Nothing wrong with MoonPay. Just put that fact over here. Somebody knew the coin was coming and said, oh, we should go get a loan. Nothing wrong with that, because you have people that are building things. You kind of have to get the rails, done before you can roll the train, right? I'm cool with that. But that number, 160 million. The involvement. What was the involvement? How was that working? How was that moving? Interesting. All of that is interesting. Then you go back and you say, well, who helped them develop this? Develop this coin? Oh, so it could have been these guys. Because it's already being said that they helped create the Melania coin. Really interesting. All this news is out there and I haven't heard any denials. None. And this is getting ugly. People are going to start asking questions. Let's run with the idea that there was nothing wrong with Melania, nothing wrong with the Trump coin. Let's say those two projects were clean, nothing wrong. The optics are horrible. What? So, when FTX collapsed, what kind of reverberations happened? And by the way, there's somebody out there blaming different factors of the SEC for that whole debacle. But that's a story for another day. What's going on, Paula? That's a story for another day. Let's just run with this. The reverberations from this. One state person who took the cue from this state person to do his own thing, and the team to do it? Coinky dink? Or somebody made a phone call. Yeah, we work with these guys. Go ahead. Go handle your business. Boom. This, I believe, is why Solana is tanking. Tanking. So I'm sitting back and I'm looking at Solana. I never would have thought that a meme coin controversy, although it should have been on my mind, right? That a meme coin controversy was going to be the problem. So that wouldn't cause a run on your network. That wouldn't cause you to have problems. Oh, this is having problems. This is having problems. You can't tell me that's not interesting. Cannot tell me that's not interesting. It's interesting as all get out to me. I mean, they admit to market manipulation. Big baggers, remember when I said I'm not going to use a bot? Remember that? Remember, I was almost heated. I was absolutely not going to use a bot. Because think about it. There's nothing wrong with the coin. There's no rug pull. I'm not going anywhere. I'm trying to build something here. I said, even though it might help, that nope, not going to do that. Didn't want anything that was going to even come close to messing us up. Like I said, let's run with the idea that there's nothing wrong with that family's coins. Let's run with the idea that there's nothing wrong with it. You can't tell me that these aren't bad optics. You cannot tell me these are not bad optics. Horrendous. Horrendous. Just saying. Let me see. Oh, for those that aren't paying attention, do you think Jack Dorsey is Satoshi Nakamoto? That's tonight's question. Yes, no, other. Now, Hutanik, you made a comment. Missed it. Hold it. No, those are not. Those are, that they have nothing to do with ETH. I hate when people do that. I hate that. Something bad will happen, and they'll mention the layer one that this project is running on, but there's nothing going on with the layer one. Has everything to do with that project, not this. So I'm not going to accept that it's a layer two hack. No, it's not a layer two hack. It's that project's hack. So who got hacked? There seems to be another conversation going on that I'm not following. Again, so I'm still, what do you mean slight-handed news? What slight-handed news? That news has political implications. It's got network implications. And think about how many people are holding Solana right now that are bleeding. Now, for me, I'm not even going to kid you. I'm going to wait to see if it could drop any further. And will I buy in? Probably. Because I think it'll go back up. Because it'll be seen as not a Solana problem. Because it's not a Solana problem. Solana is just the network that they're running on. But it's not really a Solana problem. So will people start saying Solana is oversold? I think so. And it'll be a quick buck. Just saying. So I'm going to wait. I'm not going to try to catch a falling dagger. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. Again, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Oh, so you're saying that the ETH news that you read could have been BS. Let me put it to you like this. You can figure that out yourself. Is Ethereum a layer 2? No. Does Ethereum have anything to do with a project that wants to create a layer 2 on top of their layer 1? Once again, no. If you create a project for your business, for whatever reason, does the underlying blockchain have anything to do with it other than that's your transport? That's your gas? No. You are responsible for your security. Your security posture. That's all on you. That is all on you. That's why I sit back and I just kind of look at, when I see stories like that, they put the biggest name first. They put the biggest name first. And Ethereum L2 gets hacked or whatever it is. But it's usually the biggest name comes first. And then they say who's actually in charge of it, who actually got in trouble. So, half truth, I put zero truth on it. Had nothing to do with Ethereum. It could have been Base. It could have been Aptos. It could have been Sui. It could have been any number of projects that it was running on top of. Any number. They're going to put the biggest name first, and then they'll talk about that. Because you're going to see two things. Ethereum hack. You're going to skip over the L2, and the thing that's in your head is Ethereum hack. And you'll pop into the article. Eyeballs. That's the game. That's the game. If you're talking about the hack, right, or an instance like Solana, right, it hurts their reputation for about 10 minutes. Then people start realizing, oh, they had nothing to do with it. They can't control what you do with your meme coin on their network. That's the whole point, is that they have nothing to do with whatever it is you're doing. Can't have it both ways. And sooner or later, people wake up. They get into the article and they go, oh, it had nothing to do with them. It's really this project. Who's involved with that project? Who's this? Who's that? Da 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 da. That's what happens. That's what happens. Look at Haktua Girl. Look at Haktua Girl. Have you heard any of the names that were involved with that project more than hers? No. I'm not saying you haven't heard the other names. I'm saying you have not heard any of those names more than her. Biggest name goes first. That's how you get the eyeballs. That's how you get the eyeballs. Ethereum hack. But I will say this. It's different from an X hack, right? Because everybody on X gets hacked. Or some really big names in the past have been hacked. Seems like every week there's a new hack on X. That's actually an X problem. What's the common denominator? X. In this case, yeah, that's not the case. This is just a massive, intricate, screwed rug pull. Massive. Took project money to manipulate the market. Wow. Wow. So does it hurt their image? Like I said, it'll hurt their image until people stop and realize and go, oh, that's overbought, because they actually had nothing to do with it. Nobody from Solana had anything to do with Melee, with Hayden, this Hayden Davis character. They had nothing to do with it. That's just the platform. Sucks to be them. It's sort of like FTX. Except I think that there are some dealings between Solana and FTX. FTX just had way too much for there not to be. Like you just went out and just bought all of it. Like what? Something fishy right there. Something fishy. But you kind of got to take a step back and kind of go, what's going on with that? That's why I look at things differently. That's why. So remember when I gave that class on learning how to do your own research? This is one of the things that we were talking about. And where's Joaquin? I haven't seen Joaquin in a minute. Just drop him an email or something. Like, where the hell are you? So, yeah, that's a problem. That's a grand problem. And that's why it's like research these days is almost an art form. You've got to understand how they're writing titles, the little blurb that they give you along with the story. And if you get mistaken, you click into the story, you've got to know how to skim that story and get to the crux of it quickly. And then what are the telltale signs that, yeah, that's BS? That's the big deal. So I get it. Some people are sitting back and they're saying, "Oh, I'd rather watch General Hospital." Everybody's talking about it. They're all talking about that aspect. They're not also telling you these are the things that you should be looking for when you're reading these articles. So people skip over it and they go read something else. They go watch another show. Okay. For those that were strong enough in the gut, and you were too, you stayed, you worked through it. And now you're sitting there kind of going, yeah, you're giving people too much you're giving people too much credit. Most don't understand any bad news tanks the whole space for people that are afraid of it. Rick Ritchie, I understand what you're saying. Take a step back. Take one step back. Hutanic, give me one moment. There are two things I'm going to need from you. Take one step back and say to yourself, while other people demonstrate lettuce hands, what are we doing? What are the institutions doing? Diamonds. Freaking adamantium, if you're into Marvel. That's right, because I just watched Captain Marvel, so adamantium. So yeah, stop and think about it like that. While everybody else is wavering, there are those that are buying. All right. I mean, you're not wrong though. Yeah, some people are going to be, weak of gut and they're going to cave. And then they'll choke on it and be like, damn, I shouldn't have caved. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have. But glad you did. Let's not even play. All right, Hutanic. My biggest concern is the number of people and the amount of money people will gamble with versus on solid investment. That's not my problem. That's not your problem. That is not your problem. You want to know what your problem is? I'll tell you what your freaking problem is. Where's patient one, by the way? Anyway, your problem is to figure out how to make money off those people. Sounds like a real a-hole way to be thinking. I'm not saying be a part of cheating them. I'm saying plan for numbnuts like this to make those kinds of mistakes. What I tell you about dry powder? Should have some lying around, right? That's what I said. That's what I said. So when the dagger finishes falling, let's suppose it goes back down to 166. That means you need $16, call it $17 to make 10%, right? Right? Okay. So, do you not think it's going to go from 166 to 183? Do you think that's what's going to happen or not happen? That really is my question. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. If it goes down to 166, even from where it is right now, do you not think it's going to not go from here to, let's call it 185, so you can make 10%? Do you think that's what's going to happen? Because I think I can make a quick 10% off this puppy because it's oversold. Because numbnuts haven't figured out that Solana had nothing to do with it. I'm good. I'll take a couple of bucks. I'll drop it in. I'll wait, and it'll come back. I mean, how long do you think it's going to be before the next good news or bad news happens? On to the next story. People don't have that long of an attention span. They really don't. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Robinhood wants to expand in Asia. So what do? They bought Bitstamp. How long do you think it'll be before that becomes the news? Robinhood's expansion into Asia is going to be via Bitstamp. Flavio Pump. Oh man, I don't want to mess up your name. Pompermeyer. Is it Pompermeyer? Please tell me if I got that right. I hate mispronouncing people's names. That'll really bother me if I got that wrong. And welcome, because it looks like that was your first comment. So welcome to the community. So think about that. It's just quick 10%. I'm not saying I'm gonna hold on to it. A quick 10%. I'm a Warren Buffett that joint. I'm a Warren Buffett that. That's me and Elliot used to call it, doing the Warren Buffett. Right? You set a number and you stick to that number, and that's it, no matter what. You stick to that number. You Warren Buffett that joint. I got no problem with that. Solana's going to come back. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The only thing that people are going to talk about, and you said it earlier, outages. But was it really an outage? It's run on the bank. Can't stop that. But that also means that, your numbers aren't right. It always leads back to that, right? Somehow, some way, it leads back to. So you do drop a lot of transactions. You do, well, not a lot of transactions. You drop a lot of blocks. So you don't really handle 1 million transactions per second. Aha. Just saying. I think it will go well beyond 300 soon. It's not even a blip on the radar. It is a blip on the radar. How long ago was it? It was at 200. It was at, 2 days ago? It was at 20 something? And now it's at 166? Ooh. Now think about that. Just think about, I think it's going to return to where it was. How much money did you just make? I'm just saying. I know I sound crazy. I sound loony. And I know people want to go watch General Hospital. I mean, you'd have been better off saying Tom and Jerry, but General Hospital, that's hitting below the belt. Go to the corner. But you know what I mean. But you're right. It's barely a blip. It'll go beep beep. That's it. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for the dagger to fall. I'm gonna wait for it to hit bottom, and then I'll take some of that dry powder and sprinkle it on in. It's a quick buck. What bank is going to give you that kind of... What bank is going to give you 10% in a matter of days? You'd have to be a loan shark. No, I don't use unsprung energy. I use pent up energy. That's my line. Good try though. It was a good one. But yeah. I mean, right now, Hutanic, even a broader thing, everybody, just a broader idea is that there is a lot of pent up energy right now. Why do you think I've been harping on you guys to start thinking about your calendars? Got to start thinking about your calendars for your bags. What can affect my bag? Something like this, you would never have seen coming. You never would have seen that coming. Right? There are known unknowns, there are unknown unknowns, and this was an unknown unknown. It's a macro event that's having an effect at a micro level. It's this big, it's hitting Solana. It's hitting Solana. I'm just sitting back and just going, all right, well, it is what it is. What else do we have? Austrac, Australian authorities, cracked down on 13 crypto firms for compliance failures. Compliance. There was another country I wanted to mention. Give me a moment. Who was it? Nigeria. Nigeria is also thinking about implementing new tax rules around crypto. And people might wonder, why would I talk about that? It's because anything that affects crypto any place else is going to affect crypto wherever you are. People are like, oh, it can't. Well, something that happens in Australia, something that happens in Asia, something that happens in Africa. Those are three big regions that are all about crypto. High usage in Australia, high usage in Nigeria, extremely high usage in Asia. With Robinhood buying Bitstamp. I'm still shocked over that one. Who saw that one coming? I sure as heck didn't. I sure as heck didn't. Now, did Robinhood buy Bitstamp? Give me a moment about that, Hutanic. That's a good one. Why did Robinhood buy Bitstamp? They didn't just buy Bitstamp to get into the space, to get into Singapore, get into Asia. I don't think that's why. I think that was one of the reasons. I think another reason is because they don't want to get bought. Everybody thought JP Morgan was going to buy them, and they didn't. Reprieve. That's what that was, a reprieve. But now you've got to say to yourself, well, who's big enough to buy Robinhood after they just got in bed with Bitstamp? There are a few companies, there are a few banks out there that still can. But that might put Robinhood in a different space now. Think about, Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab just did something today too. Let me see. Let's see if I know how to spell this. Charles Schwab. What the heck? Charles Schwab creates a new role called Head of Digital Assets. It was just a few days ago that they said, oh, yeah, banks can get involved in crypto. That's big, isn't it? It's very big. Charles Schwab has two platforms, their namesake platform, as well as Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim has an API that you can use to go do stuff. Those are platforms. Freaking Robinhood just bought an exchange and said, what's up? I still think services like TradingView could be on the table. As soon as that announcement came out, I started thinking, whoa, that's big. That's bigger than big. That's right. And Tether minted a whole bunch. But that wasn't the news. Tether and Guinea partner for blockchain innovation. Tether signs a MOU agreement with Guinea to develop blockchain-based education and economic growth initiatives aligning with its global expansion strategy. Teach you, you will welcome me. That to me was big news. Small corners of the planet are hopping on to Bitcoin. They're hopping on to crypto. Now you know why news from around the world will affect wherever you are. United States, United Kingdom, Brazil, Mexico, wherever you are, it's going to have an effect. The world is really, really tiny now. I mean, just think about that. We have devices that can call in almost anybody in the world over the air. Before, we had devices we could call almost anybody anywhere, but they had to be someplace to receive the call. Now they can just take out the device out of their pocket and it gets to them. And now you're talking about the same thing with crypto. But crypto is moving faster than even cell phones did. It's moving faster than even the internet did. That's why this news is big. Kendrick Green, welcome. And guess what? You're absolutely right. Litecoin is a sleeping giant. But it's not so sleeping. Look at where it's ranked. It's not so sleeping. You know what I mean? It's like a really big sleeping giant. Let me get back to Hutanic. I got you on a 300 agreement. Notice how there is more negative news right around the market's pump, and great news when the markets dump. Sometimes, when the waves move at the same time, sure. And then they go out of sync. Just saying. So there's a lot going on that we could be thinking about. But imagine Solana's numbers have plunged 43% since its peak in January. Damn. The high in January was around $293. Got it in my notes. Apparently, $293 on January 19th. And it's down to $163. It went as low as $163 today. I thought I saw it lower than $166. It's a beautiful thing having notes. Beautiful thing having notes. Now, something that is bothering me. Muskrat is now investigating the SEC. And I get it, but isn't the SEC being cleaned? Isn't that house getting cleaned now? And now you're going to investigate the SEC. Is this a revenge tour? He just got a contract. He makes $8 million a day from government contracts. And now the agency that was investigating him, for good reason, by the way, a lot of cases that were incorrect, but look at the cases against him, against his companies, and kind of sit there and kind of go, there's a reason to investigate. Maybe not guilty, but definitely a reason to investigate. Now he's investigating the agency. I have a problem with that. I absolutely have a problem with that. It gives me fear about the economy. The CFPB going away gives me fear about the economy. Banks are going to be allowed to do whatever it is they want to do. And nobody's going to be able to check them. Even Fed Chair Powell said, CFPB, well, without them, who's going to check the banks? That's going to be a problem. Predatory loans, all that good stuff, that's going to be a problem. It's going to have an economic impact. I told you guys, I'm not expecting good times by the end of the year. I'm expecting horrible times for a lot of people. So I'm trying to bulk up while I can. A heck of a lot while I can. I also noticed that all of the... Hutanic, you could say that about almost any of the coins that are out there. Those are people that didn't do the GMB3, right? Didn't do their own research, didn't know their entries and exits, and did not, absolutely invest deliberately. Follow those three things. You won't fudge yourself. Or create your own FUD around what you're doing. Or other words, give yourself lettuce hands. Know when and why you're doing something. Understand why. have a risk matrix. Understand what risks are there. So that way you know how to move should a risk come to fruition. Just saying. Just saying. Tether invested into American agricultural giant Adeco Agro $100 million on the same day as they minted. I thought that was old news. Hold on a second. So, September 10th, 2024, Tether makes $100 million investment in South American agriculture. That was way back when. That's not new news. And I don't know that they minted on that day. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. Yeah, you don't fudge yourself, but I'm saying you said other people do. Exactly. But they're not paying attention. You literally just said, I just see what is going on. That means you're paying attention. That means you're doing your research. That means you're actually in your head exploring what could be the risk and how would I react to a certain level of risk. I'm not crazy. I know what you said. And it was correct. Just saying. I agree. But on a macro level about the news, I don't think that's on a macro level. I think, things happen differently. Things happen at different times. We were all geared up for big good news. Robinhood buying Bitstamp was good news. Just saying. Even Hoskinson talking about crime-fi and all this stuff, some good ideas. They're just getting swallowed up by other stuff. Even when he announces this, he still has to mock something else. And it's kind of like, dude. So what should have been great news wasn't. Something that probably also got buried. Grayscale introduces a Pyth trust. Pyth. I think their game is we're going to create trust for all the coins we believe in. Then we'll convert all those coins into ETFs. And that will leave us open to being able to file for an ETF that is a mixture of different coins. I think that's the long game. Because the short game is not going to be, I'm going to have everything, in an ETF. A single ETF, a single coin focused ETF. I don't think that's the game. That is not the game. Can't be. Cannot be. And they're doing it too much in a concerted effort. Step by step by step by step by step. They've been in the game for a really long time. I think they know what they're doing. At first I didn't. But now I'm starting to see, it's starting to play out the way I have it playing out in my head. Oh, I see what you're doing. Because the way that you're going to really make money is to have a real ETF. The same way, stock ETFs are. You get a bag of whatever mixture of stocks and you move on. Are we going to see a super cycle on metals? I think that's a real extreme, not even extreme. I think that's a real possibility. And people are probably like, oh, but this is the crypto overflow show. Why are you talking about metals? Because you can buy Pax G. That's gold. I think, if I recall correctly, there are others that have tokenized such assets. So just saying that I think we could be being set up to do that. What are the biggest things right now that people are fighting over? Countries are fighting over. Rare earth metals. Rare earth metals. Why are people stealing, what is it? They're stealing catalytic converters. Why? was it palladium or platinum? I think it's palladium, something like that. It's an expensive metal that's in there, and you can snatch that and go make money. Don't even need to steal the whole car. Just let me snatch that. And then you start to wonder, why did they make batteries so hard to get to, on electric vehicles? One is because they want you to have to go to their dealership to have it fixed or to have it serviced. But another one was it would be like ridiculously easy to steal a battery, right? Yeah. That's when you start to go, oh, that's diabolical. Chicano, what's good? So yeah, I'm starting to pay attention to that stuff. I'm starting to say to myself, ooh, there's a lot going on. Just a lot of good news. Let's see, that Jack Dorsey thing, global central banks, falling down when it comes to CBDCs. You kind of knew that was coming. Bank of New York Mellon and other major banks invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Bank of New York Mellon holds $13 million in Bitcoin ETFs. Not one, multiple ETFs. Wow. So yeah, there was good news today. The good news is overshadowing. The good news, the good news is being overshadowed. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we could be paying attention to, and I'm telling you, paying $200 million for Bitstamp is going to bode well for Robinhood. As long as they handle the post-merger integration well, it will bode well for Robinhood. I mean, think about it. Now they have a real exchange. They're a real exchange now. Wow. Just think about that. Robinhood being open to an exchange that is very, very much used. It's a top tier exchange. It's a top tier exchange. It's no doubt about it. So now what? There are a lot of places they can go with that. Robinhood's not playing games. They want to grow their crypto side of the house in a major fashion. It would take E-Trade. It would take Thinkorswim. It would take Charles Schwab. It would take Citi's platform. It would take all of those other platforms, at the very least, a little bit of time to work in crypto. Can they do it? Yeah, of course. Of course. But it would take them a little bit of time to work it in. And if I'm JP Morgan, they should have bought Robinhood. Because it wasn't like Robinhood picked up the phone yesterday and said, hey, Bitstamp, can we buy you? Had to have been in the works for a minute. Just saying. Texas State Senate had a meeting today about the Bitcoin reserve. Yeah, that's not news. I don't think it's news. You might think it's news. I don't think it's news. You want to know what I think is news? Mara buying a wind farm in Texas. That's big news. That's big news. Because nothing came out of that meeting. They met. They discussed it. Next step. It's not going to be news until they reach the next major step. You see what I mean? So yes, it's kind of news, but it's not news. It's not affect my wallet news yet until it hits the next stage. That's honestly how I look at it. That's how I differentiate between what's gonna help my bag now, what's gonna help my bag in the future, and is it a necessary step? Yes, but is it newsworthy? Is it actually gonna move anything? Nope. Not at all. Not at all. It takes a little bit for things to move, for things to actually move the needle. But that said, you put all that stuff together for Texas. Texas has got a lot of stuff going on. Texas needed Mara to go buy that wind farm. Texas needs crypto, whether they choose to believe it or not. They need crypto. Why? They shore up the power system. That's why. They have a problem with it, and that's how they're figuring it out. Texas could very much wind up being a very big deal in the crypto space. I just don't think they understand how. Mara does. Mara does, because the next big thing that they could do is, fire up an SMR. That's not cheap, and it doesn't happen overnight. That wind farm is already existing, and it's renewable energy that produces a lot of energy, and creates a revenue stream. It's a built-in revenue stream. Not only can you power your stuff with it, but it's a built-in revenue stream. You're going to see a lot of those companies get into the energy business. That move by Mara was getting into the energy business. Not just, we're going to take all this power and put it into our data centers. No, that's them getting into the energy business consciously. That's bigger than what people think. I think people spend too much time thinking about little things, and they don't think enough about bigger pictures. I'm not saying you have to think about the biggest picture. I just think they don't think about the bigger picture. A lot of them have been moving to Texas. And I don't think it's because of power. I think that a lot of them have been moving to Texas because Texas has easier laws. And it hasn't been a tremendous amount, but it's been a noticeable amount of companies moving to Texas. And it's because of Texas laws. They're trying to say, well, we're going to get out of these blue states. That's one of the reasons why. Right? And Texas has a lot of things going for it. But remember a while ago we were talking about how companies were migrating over to Texas because they wanted to get away from NASDAQ, and they were going to start that new exchange in Texas. That's died down a bit. That has died down. That noise about that has died down a lot. A lot. Because there's a new sheriff in town, and the NASDAQ changed their ways, and now companies are like, oh, okay, we'll stay with NASDAQ. But I think we're going to start seeing a lot of businesses get into offshoot businesses. Mara getting into the energy business, well, they need energy. And it's different than building an SMR, right? And having that there and running a few data centers that are nearby versus a wind farm that actually powers different areas that makes them money. Ham's house. So you think Texas Stock Exchange isn't going to happen? I think it's still going to happen, but I don't think it's going to have the hoopla that everybody thought it was going to have. That's what I think. Sucks, right? Yeah, but that's honestly what I think. It'll happen, but less businesses are going to go there. It's new. I'm not saying that it's not going to grow up over time and everything else, but it's not going to be the flash bang that everybody thought it was going to be. That's honestly what I'm thinking. Still good stuff. But that's what I'm actually thinking. I read in the news again this week. Read what in the news again this week? The exchange? Or companies getting into energy business? $15 votes. Do you think Jack Dorsey is Satoshi Nakamoto? 27% said yes. 67% say no. 7% says other. I didn't see any other over here. Where did you read it, Rick Ritchie? I'm dying to know. Was it a local newspaper? Because I haven't seen a whisper of it anywhere. Not to say that it's not someplace good, but I haven't heard a whisper just yet. So to me, that's kind of a big deal. That I'm not hearing about it. That means the backing that they had before Oh, we'll come, we'll come, we'll come, we'll come. And they're staying over at NASDAQ. Not as big as they hoped it would be. Still going to happen, but not as big as they hoped it would be. Nope. That's honestly what I'm thinking. Hutanik, I don't understand your point to Ham's house. If he is, you will see a BTC withdraw and all of the... I don't even know what that means. I'm not even going to speak toward it. Fort Worth news. So local news. See what I mean? So news, but not big news. Not big enough to be held, to be thought of nationally. How's that? It was a threat to Wall Street. Wall Street changed because new regime, and now nothing. Now nothing. Now there's no reason to leave. So they're going to have to scrap for it. They're going to have to scrap for it. Everything that they think of. Now let's go back to Jack Dorsey. So the reason why, somebody from Van Eck said he thinks Jack Dorsey is Satoshi Nakamoto. And I'm not even going to go there. So when you look at what this guy is saying, I'm like, he puts together a really good conspiracy theory, because apparently Jack Dorsey was a cypherpunk, supposedly. I mean, I don't know how old this guy is. I don't know what experience he has, really. But it is possible he was a cypherpunk. And being in that space, he could have. Being in that space, he could have. Did he? I don't know. And what really gets me is where it came from. Somebody at Van Eck, and I forgot the guy's name. Give me a second. Van Eck's Matthew Siegel suggests Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey could be Bitcoin's mysterious creator, reigniting Satoshi speculation. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, why? Somebody higher up than this guy said, okay, we'll let you say that in public. What? How did that happen? How did that happen? I don't think it was a bunch of nerds, by the way, Rick Ritchie. I hear what you're saying. I don't think it was a bunch of nerds. The only reason why I don't think it was a bunch of nerds is because not everybody will shut the hell up. If you want something to be quiet, you don't say anything to anybody. You say nothing to no one. And you sit back and enjoy the ride. For all we know, Satoshi Nakamoto could have done this, snatched a whole bunch of Bitcoin for himself or herself, themselves, and kept it, right? So that they can enjoy a little bit of the profits, right? Maybe spread out where they have that coin so they can wet their beak every now and then. And not say a word, just sit back and enjoy everybody else enjoying your work. And you not living a lavish life necessarily, because then that would cause people to look at you, but living an all right life. You know what I mean? Like, somebody like that is not worried about it. You ever see Vitalik Buterin? Not worried about it. You ever just see some of these people that are involved in crypto, that are loaded involved in crypto? Not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. Just kind of like, oh, well, whatever. They figured out the definition of their good life. They figured it out. No, the richest wallet in the world might be. But I'm just sitting back and I'm enjoying the idea that I used to think that it was a bunch of people, but then I sat there and I was like, who the hell would keep their mouth shut? People aren't going to keep their mouth shut. They're not good at it. They're really not. You want to do some dirt, you don't tell anybody. You take it to your grave. That's how that works. So yeah, I'm sitting back and I'm just saying to myself, I think that's a one-person job. There was a lot of research that went into it. The white paper is very simple. I could easily see one person doing that because the work that came before them is probably the work that helped them get to where they were. They looked at it differently. Think DeepSeek. They looked at it differently and they were able to figure it out. They looked at DigiCash and all the rest of them that came before Bitcoin and they figured it out. And boom, Bitcoin was born. And like I said the other day, that the biggest thing, the smartest thing that he, she, they, them could have done was don't say a word. Nothing. Because there comes a point where you don't want to have anybody find out that you did it. Your life would never be your own again. But something like this coming out of Van Eck? What? I can't even wrap my head around that. Somebody had to approve this guy, Matthew Siegel, coming out and saying it. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm hoping it's a big joke, but the way the news came out, it didn't hit like a big joke. And so let's really think about it. If you're Jack Dorsey, do you admit to it? I wouldn't. Jack Dorsey is doing just fine, but what would he get out of saying, "Yeah, I'm Satoshi"? What would he get if he actually admitted to it and proved it? What would he get? A lifetime of trouble. No. Even if it was him, I don't think he's just gonna let everybody sit there and be like, nah. And he'll come out and he'll deny it at some point and be like, nah, come on, are you serious? And everybody will believe him because he doesn't need to be Satoshi Nakamoto. He's fine. But I want you guys to think about today's like crazy list of news, right? Wow, Goldman Sachs holds $1.63 billion in BTC ETFs and 196.3 in Ethereum ETFs. Talk about institutional adoption, like, wow. Oh yeah, he would absolutely be able to cash it all out. But why? Why? He's not broke. He doesn't need the money. I tell kids when I'm talking to them about college and their lives and what they want to do, stop talking to me about how you want to buy a Bugatti and have a house on the Riviera and all this fancy smancy. No, just what is your actual definition of a happy life? Because if you're rich, if you're wealthy, well, now you've got to pay for security and you got to find out who you can trust and all this stuff. Excuse me. So that's a lot. That's a lot to contend with. I don't know who's going to do that. I don't know who's going to do that. You're always asking yourself, can I trust this person? It's just too much work. It's what do? You create something fantastic because it is fantastic, the true meaning of the word. And you live out the rest of your life comfortably, your definition of happy life, and watch everybody enjoying what you've built. Creating a whole new global economy. Is Bitcoin going to last forever? No, I don't think so. But did it help lay the groundwork for massive, almost unimaginable change? Yes. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. So yeah, there's a lot to contemplate with all the news that came out today. I think the most annoying news to me was actually again, Charles Hoskinson, because he comes out with a great idea and he's got to ruin it by yapping about something else. I'm just like, yeah, I don't have time to listen to that. I don't have time to read that. I don't have time to watch a video about it. I'm good off that. Great use cases, but I'm just like, Will Bitcoin live out the US dollar in the way we see it now? My humble opinion, yes. But that's not the right question in my head. The right question in my head will be, will it outlive fiat of any sort? That's the right question. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, please tell your friends about us. Smash the likes. Definitely tell your friends to join the community. We have some really good conversations, whether we bicker, argue, crack jokes, send people to the corner, talk about going to watch General Hospital. I mean, I was a Ryan Hopes guy when I was younger, but I'm just saying, Ryan's Hope. Oh, it's a good show. It was a good show. A lot of actors came from that. Just saying. But yeah, if you're not a member yet, become a member. If you're not a big bagger yet, become one. Go to growmybag.tv/sign-up and you'll be able to read all about being a regular bagger at only $12 and a big bagger at $120. Hutanic, that stuff that you sent me earlier, good stuff. Thank you. Hutanic, I disagree with you. The dollar will die. I think fiat will die. I think fiat is going to wind up dying because less and less people will rely on fiat and more people will start to rely on coin, on crypto. Your grandma made you watch General Hospital. I remember having to set up the doggone VCR for my mom. It was a pain in the tail. It really was. Anyway, everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience, and absolutely, thank you for your trust. I greatly appreciate you all. Have a great night. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, wait. Got to close it out, right, Paula? You thought you were going to catch me out there. Hey, Apwas. So, 15 votes, 2767-7. And everybody thinks that it's a no. I'm in agreement right there. I think it's a no. All right. Luke and Laura's wedding. Very interesting. Love affair in real life, too. Very interesting. Anyway, everybody, have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.